Hello, welcome to Flourish ICT Academy. This is a continuation of our computer troubleshooting course. Today, I'll be listing some of the components that we have in the computer and the symptoms of failure. So when you notice any particular symptoms concerning your system, you are able to know what component in your computer is actually responsible or going bad. That is going to help you a lot. So I will encourage you to watch this training or this lesson from the beginning to the end, as I'm going to be mentioning all different components that we have inside your computer and the symptoms of failure of each of those components, one after the other, in this lesson today. Before I go further with that, I want to encourage you to join our YouTube community. There's a link, I have it displayed as well on the screen. You can actually click on that and be part of our ICT community. If you do that, you will have a lot of benefit beyond the video you are watching just right here. You will be able to have a direct access to me to ask one-on-one question relating to any area of IT whatsoever. That's one among other benefits that are in joining the YouTube community of Flourish ICT Academy. I look forward to see you in that community area. Now, let's go and dive into what we have to discuss today. The first component we are going to be discussing today is the hard drives. The hard drives arguably is the most important component that you have inside your computer, because that is your storage device. Everything on your system is stored on the hard drive. The operating system, your videos, your pictures, the files, everything that you have on your computer is actually stored on the hard drive. So if the hard drive fails, it's a lot and a lot of catastrophe for whoever owns that particular system, because what you have worked for so many years, you can actually lose them within the twinkle of an eye. So that is why, for me, I said that hard drive, I think, is the most important component actually inside your computer. And unfortunately, such important component is not immune to failure. That is the problem. So that is why we're going to talk about right now what are the symptoms of the hard drive failure and how you can actually overcome that or guide against that. Hard drive related problem, or which I can also call symptoms, are these. If you are hearing unusual noise on your system, that could be a pointer to hard drive failure. Okay, that your hard drive is going bad. That does not mean that the hard drive has failed eventually. It means that something is going bad with the hard drive. If you continue to hear unusual noise, especially cracking noise when your system is booting or when you are opening file and you are working in your system, that is a symptom of a hard drive going bad. The second one under that is low performance. If suddenly your system started performing slowly, when you want to open a file, it takes a longer time before that file is going to open up for the first time. That is also another pointer. Next to that is the blue screen of death, which we refer to as BSOD. If you are getting a blue screen of death, your computer suddenly bring out a blue screen and then the system shut down automatically. That is another red flag for hard drive failure. Another symptom is repeated crashes and restart. If your system, you are working on the system, you discover that you just got an error that your system has crashed and restarted automatically, or automatically trying to boot into repair page once and in a while, that is also another pointer that your hard drive is going bad. Another thing is missing or corrupted system file. The system file, which is operating system file you have in your system, if you are getting an error message and says that the system file is corrupted or is missing, that is another pointer that your hard drive is actually going bad. Most of the system today actually have what we call smart, and that is actually in the BIOS. It monitors the health of your hard drive, and that is able to notify you whenever there is an error on your hard drive. So if your computer's smart monitoring system reports error, it's a strong indication that the hard drive is failing and you should prepare to replace it. The question is this: what to do if you suspect a failing hard drive based on the symptoms that I've enumerated just now? What are you going to do if you suspect your hard drive is failing? The first thing to do is to take steps to minimize data loss and prevent further damages to the hard drive, because the most important thing you want to protect is actually your data. You can afford to lose your operating system and reinstall. You can afford to lose even the software that you have on the system and reinstall them. But worry about your data. It is not all the data that you have there that you can easily recreate them. Worry about the pictures. You have some moments in your life that you have taken some pictures, you have had some videos. You cannot reverse the time and the ages to go back and get those pictures and get those videos. That is why it is very important to first of all take a precaution step when you start noticing those symptoms that I mentioned right now. The first thing to do is to back up your data. I cannot overemphasize on this, and this is one of the reasons I did a lesson sometimes ago at the platform that you can actually have a free platform where you can back up your system. So you check the description as well, you are going to see that. So the first thing is to immediately back up your data, because your system is already giving you a sign that something could go wrong with the hard drive. If it's totally crashed, the implication is that you might not be able to access the content of that particular drive. The second thing that you need to do as a precaution is to stop using the drive. The more you use it, the more damages you are causing to the drive. Don't try to say you want to actually kill it off before you take that precaution. Stop using the drive and then consult a professional. If you need a further advice about that, you can reach out through the link, okay, and the contact on the screen, and then we can advise you further on what to do. The second component we'll be talking about is motherboard, which is actually known as system board. This, as the name implies, that is the mother of all the components on your system. It is called motherboard. So all components on your system inside the computer, they are actually residing on the motherboard. So a system board, which is also known as motherboard, is the main circuit board in any laptop. Unlike the desktop PC, system board, laptop system board, it comes in thousands of different shapes and sizes. So laptop motherboards are model specific. What that means is that you cannot actually remove a motherboard from a Toshiba and put it inside a Dell or HP laptop. So motherboards are system specific. Each of them, they come in different shape, in different sizes. So that is why it will be difficult to just pick any laptop that is no longer working, but the motherboard is okay, and put it in another one if it is not exact model of what you are replacing. Now let's look at system board failure. What are some of the symptoms of the board failure that will let you know that, hey, this problem is related to your motherboard? When a system board fails, you may experience some of the following and then common problem with your laptop. The first one is that the laptop is completely dead. There is no LED light activity. When you press on the power button or plug into the good AC power adapter, you discover that there is no LED. LED. You check the hard drive indicator, you check the power indicator, there is no LED, no light on any part of your system. So that could be an indicator of a dead motherboard. Okay, when there is no LED light, that means the motherboard may likely be completely dead. Okay, then the second one is that the laptop starts, okay, but the video output on the LCD screen or the external monitor, if you are using an external monitor, is garbled. Most likely, this is related to the VGA failure, or it can also be your motherboard. So there will be a need for further troubleshooting before you actually draw a conclusion. Another thing is that if the laptop turns on without video on the screen and the power LED starts flashing, okay, the power LED on your system starts flashing continuously, that is also another symptom of a motherboard failure. Now, if the laptop works fine with AC adapter but will not charge, okay, a not good battery, you put a battery, you are sure the battery is good, but the battery is not, the laptop is not charging the battery. But if you remove the battery and you plug the laptop directly to the AC power adapter and the laptop is charging directly with light, if this is the case, okay, most likely there's something wrong with the battery charging circuit or the DC power pack on your laptop. And there's also what you call a return power. If your laptop adapter, if your laptop adapter is good, the power cable is okay, and you plug it to the power socket, and the time you plug it to your system, you discover that your system is turning off the adapter, is turning off the charger as if something is returning power back to the charger and it's not charging the system is not coming up. That is another symptom of a motherboard problem. And the next thing to see in that moment is to try and consult an engineer or consult a professional. Don't try to fix the motherboard by yourself, so you are not going to cause more damages to your system. Consult an engineer immediately, whether there could be a solution to that effect, because motherboard is one of the most expensive part of the laptop. If it goes bad, the only way out, or let me say the best way out, if it goes bad, is actually to plan to replace the laptop entirely. Now let's talk about the CMOS battery, and which is also known as RTC battery. Have you heard of the CMOS battery before? It's one of the component or device inside your computer. Whether you are using a laptop, you are using a palm top, there's a CMOS battery. Every laptop computer has a CMOS battery, which is also known as RTC battery. The CMOS battery connects directly to the laptop system board, and it helps to retain important BIOS settings on your system, such as your system time, your system date. While you shut down the system, you are not using, you are not plugging them, and you discover when you power it on again, the system date is still correct, the system time is still correct, is because of the what we call the CMOS battery. So BIOS configuration as well, while the laptop is turned off, or even when the main battery is removed, the CMOS battery is rechargeable, and it is also getting charged when the laptop is plugged into the main. You plug it directly to the power, it's getting charged. CMOS batteries come in different shape and different sizes, and every computer, every system has a CMOS battery. That is the battery that helps your time, your date on the system to stay current and stay correct. Now, what are the symptoms of a bad CMOS battery or CMOS battery related problem that will make you to know that, hey, the issue that is going on with this system is actually a CMOS battery? This is exactly what we are going to look at now. Each time you turn off the laptop, if it reset date and time back to factory default, or is not correct, it's giving you a date far away from the current date. When you turn on the laptop back and then you set the time and you shut down the laptop, you put it on again, you discover that the date and the times are no longer correct. Most likely your CMOS battery is old and it has to be replaced. Interestingly, that can be replaced. You can actually change the CMOS battery on the laptop. Now, let's turn our attention to the cooling fan. A CPU cooling fan is a dedicated fan which cool down the heatsink and eventually the CPU, which is also known as the processor. Usually, the CPU cooling fan comes as part of the heatsink assembly, a metal part drawing it away from the CPU chip. I mentioned and explained that in the first lesson of this particular computer troubleshooting training class. If you have not watched that, please check the description section and watch that. So in addition to the CPU cooling fan, some laptops also have a dedicated GPU, which we call graphic processing unit fan, which cool down the GPU chip. So if you have a system that has what we call a discrete or dedicated graphic, that may also come with a dedicated graphic card fan. I mean, that fan is to be able to blow out the heat from your graphic card inside the computer. Now, the CPU and GPU cooling fans connect directly to the motherboard via a cable running from the fan. When the GPU and the CPU chips get hotter, the cooling fan gets spin faster. So that is why you might hear a lot of noise sometimes from your fan. That is if there is excessive temperature that is coming from the CPU or your graphic card. The fan will blow faster in order to be able to blow the heat out from those devices, those chips from your system. Now, what are the cooling fan related problems, or what are you going to when are you going to suspect that the problem is actually a cooling fan? What are the symptoms of a cooling fan problem, or that your cooling fan is going bad? If your laptop feels very hot and shut down without any warning to you, it is possible that you have a faulty fan. Is it that the fan is not working at all, or it's not blowing enough to be able, to blow out the heat that your CPU or GPU is generating? Now, it's important for you to listen to the fan, if it is working or not. you can actually raise your laptop and then you put your ear maybe under the laptop by the vent. You will know if the fan, some are actually by the side of the laptop depending on how your laptop is designed. Sometimes you can see the fan through the fan grill or the vent on the bottom of the laptop. Now, you should be able to hear the fan spinning. If the fan never starts, probably it is bad and it has to be replaced. And then the third symptoms of your CPU fan or GPU fan not working well is that if it work hard all the time, okay, if your system is generating a lot of heat and the CPU or GPU fan is working so much hard, most likely it's happened because the heat sink is dirty and is clogged with dust. There is a machine that you can use to blow out the dirt that you have on your motherboard. If your system is exposed to dust, that could clog the heatsink, that will make the fan to work more than how it's supposed to work, and that can actually damage your fan. So I recommend that you blow out the dust from your system occasionally. If you're a little bit skillful and then you have the screw, you can actually open the back of the system and then you can blow or brush out the dust that is on your fan. That will help on your system. That will help the fan not to work with so much energy to damage or to make it to generate a grinding noise that we talk about. Now let's talk about the graphic card, which is also known as the video card. I mentioned that some systems have what we call a dedicated graphic card. A graphic card, also known as a video graphic card or the VGA board, is a laptop component responsible for creating images on a laptop screen. All the images you are seeing on your screen when you are working, they are actually created by the graphic card, not by the screen. The screen is just to display, but the component that is doing the job for you is actually the graphic card, which is also known as video card. Now, in most low to mid-range laptop, low to mid-range, take note of that word. The graphic card is integrated into the motherboard, so we call it integrated. Now, in other words, it is part of the motherboard. So if you can look at the image that I just displayed over there on the screen, this particular one, we have the graphic card as part of the motherboard, meaning that it is not separated. It is not a dedicated graphic card. It's part of the motherboard. If the graphic card is bad, in this case now, you have to replace the entire motherboard. Now, in another case as well, we have what we call a discrete video card, which is also called a dedicated video card, and then as also displayed on the screen that you can see right now. Now, this can be found in a high-range model and high-end gaming laptops. Most of the gaming laptops, the laptop that we use for rendering, they actually come with what we call a dedicated graphic card. Now, discrete graphic card or dedicated graphic card, as the case may be, can be removed in some cases. They are upgradable, meaning that if it comes with 2 gig of a video card, you can actually upgrade it. It can be removed, it can be upgraded, and then if it's bad, then it can be replaced, unlike when it is an onboard that cannot be replaced. Now, what are the graphic card related problems? How do you know that, oh, this problem is related to the graphic card? Now, you can use the following method for troubleshooting problems related to graphic card. Let's say that your display stopped working properly. I mean, your display is not working well again. The image is distorted or is garbled, and then there's a problem. You want to wonder whether this problem is actually related to the VGA board or the problem is the screen, because a lot of time there could be a mix-up between whether the problem is the screen not displaying properly or the problem is actually the graphic card or the video card that is not working well. The best thing to do in that case, in order to be able to troubleshoot it by yourself, even before you call an engineer, which you call do it yourself, is that connect your laptop to an external monitor. Okay, if you have any external monitor, connect your laptop using the VGA cable or HDMI cable, depending on the type of port and the cable that you have available on your laptop and the external monitor. So connect your laptop to an external monitor and take a look at the external video output on the external monitor. If you see the same problem as on the internal screen that you have, most likely this is related to the VGA board that is having problem, not the screen. But if the video on the external monitor works fine, but what appear on the LCD screen, your internal screen, is actually garbled or not okay, that is related to the LCD screen or LCD cable. So it could either be the screen or it could be the cable that connect the screen to the motherboard, which I'm going to talk about in a moment from now. Now, what are the typical video card failure? What are the symptoms of failure of a video card that will let you know that this problem is related to a video card? Now, when you start the laptop, the initial screen that normally come up with the manufacturer logo, if it's not displayed properly on both internal screen and the external monitor you are using, you may see also random character, vertical line running through the logo, random colors, and then your color separation is not proper and is not okay. That could be a symptom of a graphic card failure. A problem like this is not related to the laptop screen or inverted board, okay, which is actually going to talk about shortly, but graphic card. Again, if the video card is integrated into the motherboard, like I said earlier on, and then the video card fail, you will have to replace the motherboard. Now, let's talk about another component which is very important. That is RAM, random access memory. A laptop memory, which is also known as random access memory, is a temporary data storage. It is also called a volatile memory. Now, when you turn off the laptop, all information that are stored on the RAM module will be lost because it is a temporary storage. We have discussed a lot about RAM in our previous video, so you might want to just check that. Let me go straight to how you are going to troubleshoot and to know whether the problem the system is having is RAM or something else, because some of the computer symptoms are very related and it can be, very funny to troubleshoot because you can miss them with another component problem. So you can actually test a laptop memory. If a problem is the memory or something else, you can check your memory, how if your laptop memory is working fine or is not. We have a free diagnostic tool called MEMTest 86 Plus. If you Google it, you are going to see that particular MEMTest 86 Plus. I'm going to drop the URL in the description of this video as well. You can go ahead and use it and run it. If you run the test, it's going to run a test on your system memory and you are able to know if your system memory is working fine. This is one of the best way to first of all rule out RAM or memory issue from your system, because the blue screen that I mentioned earlier on, most of the symptoms with hard drive, you can actually experience some of them if the memory is bad. But how do you know whether it's memory or it's even the hard drive that is failing? Now, let's look at this scenario. If you turn on your system and then it will not boot, but you can hear the hard drive, okay? If you have a DVD-ROM, you can hear those things running. You can hear the spin, you can hear the sound, or you can actually perceive that your hard drive is working and then the CD is the hard drive is booting and the CD or DVD-ROM is working, but the system will not just boot. But you can see the hard drive light on your system. The LED light is on, but nothing seems to appear on your screen. Okay, the question is this a VGA problem or is it a RAM problem? Because both of them could be responsible for this kind of issue. It is very hard to tell what is going on without testing the laptop. Okay, if you wake up, you power your system, you discover there is no display on the screen and you can see that the hard drive is working. You can see the LED light in the front and the LED light is on, and then you can see that no, the CD-ROM, if your system has a DVD, and then you can press the button by the side, you see the casing coming out, you see the DVD-ROM coming out, and then going in, you slot in the CD, and then you can notice that the CD is spinning, but there's no display on your screen. Like I said, it's a little bit difficult to troubleshoot whether it is hard drive, whether it is RAM or the VGA card that is having the problem. Now, what you need to check first, the first thing to check is if there is image on the external monitor. Connect an external monitor to the system and check if there is image. If there is none, the next thing to check is memory. One of the memory modules could be bad, because if you have more than a single module on your system, the best thing to do first is try to remove one of the module and try to restart your system with a single RAM, with a single memory. Test the laptop with each memory module separately. Okay, the one you use now, put the one you remove and then remove the second one. Just try to run a test. It's possible the laptop will start properly when you remove one of the memory, if the memory is the problem. If one of the memory is actually bad, in that case, the system will boot with just a single RAM or a memory. Now let's turn our attention to the LCD screen, which is also known as a laptop screen or LCD display screen. The LCD screen actually receives data signal from the video card through the LCD cable. So we have what you call the LCD cable. That's the cable that connects from your screen to the motherboard to the video card. So the LCD screen receives data signal from the video card through the LCD cable. Laptop screen comes in many different sizes and resolution. So you can see one laptop that is much sharper and clearer than the other is because of the screen resolution. Just like your mobile phones, it comes in different resolution. The same thing also with your laptop. Now let's talk about the LCD screen video cable. Like I said, behind the LCD screen that you can see your display, your laptop display screen, there is a cable there. So a laptop LCD cable, also known as video cable, display cable or screen cable. You can call it a display cable, you can call it a screen cable. Those are the different names that you can actually call this cable we call LCD screen video cable. This cable transfers data signal from the motherboard and video card to the LCD screen. That is the job of that cable, and that cable can go bad as well. So if the cable is the problem, you should know, instead of going ahead and replace the entire screen, it could be the cable, the LCD cable behind the screen, that is actually faulty and not the screen. So that's why it's important to understand what could be the symptoms of a faulty LCD cable. Now the image, the one thing you need to note is this: if the image on the screen appear normal until you move the display up and down. If you move the computer, maybe you try to close your computer, you open it again, and then you discover that the display is shaking and then it's not stable and then display is fainting out, then that may likely going to be the LCD cable, not the screen itself. When you move the display, the image on the entire screen starts to flicker, disappear, or change color. As soon as you stop moving the display, maybe up and down, then the image gets back to normal. That is an LCD cable problem. Also, if the LCD screen light up, but there is no image at all, you can't see any image on the screen, and then you get an external monitor and connect to the laptop, and you discover that the external monitor actually works fine, but there is no display on the primary monitor, which is your laptop. So the problem is also likely going to be with the LCD cable. That is another LCD cable related problem. If you have image on the entire LCD screen is garbled, if the image on the entire LCD screen is garbled, an external monitor will fine. That is another symptom of LCD cable problem. In many cases, the video cable failure is very similar to the LCD screen failure. So you need to troubleshoot it properly before you know what exactly is the real problem or the source of the problem. Okay. For more learning, subscribe to Flourish ICT Academy YouTube page. You can also join one of our master's class. We have cybersecurity training for beginner, data analytics training for beginner, computer training for beginner, computer networking, web design via CMOS. Then we have graphic design and so many other training like that. So subscribe to any of our master's class where you are going to have the opportunity to have one-on-one section with our instructor. Thank you for watching and see you in the next class.